Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about some of the worst mistakes you can make before you get out there on your runs. Now these are some of the common things I hear about from runners I'm working with, runners I'm coaching with, that lead to problems within their runs, and I really want to just talk about these easy points today. Some of them you've probably heard of, some of them might seem really simple, might just be things you've never thought about before, but if you want to have a good run, if you want to make your training worthwhile, make those sessions count, you need to make sure you go into them in the right mindset and not make these mistakes. So the first number one mistake I want to talk about is static stretching at the start of the run. So a lot of runners will just get out their front door, start stretching immediately. You know, maybe it might be first thing in the morning, your body isn't warmed up. Yeah, you haven't got that blood flowing around, you haven't got those muscles moving. And one of the worst things you can do is just go straight into stretching those legs out, not giving your body time to prepare or to really get moving to start with. So what I'd always recommend to start a run, just start off easy, do a bit of walking, do a bit more of a dynamic stretching or dynamic movement routine that mimics the running movement itself. So maybe some leg swings, maybe some lunges, just really gentle though, not pushing things too hard too soon. A lot of the best runners I know always just kind of start off with really easy walking for 5-10 minutes, let the body sink into the running routine and not ask too much of it too soon. Now next mistake, eating too much too soon, too close to your run. So if you're getting out there first thing in the morning, some days you might feel like you need to eat something before you get on the run. Make it just really light, make it real easy. So maybe a few bananas, maybe a bit of toast. I'd always recommend fruit myself, maybe a glass of water as well to make sure you're hydrated. But drinking too much, eating too much before going out on the run is just going to leave you feeling very uncomfortable. You're going to end up with a stitch, some cramping. So keep it light, keep it simple if you're going out there first thing in the morning for a run. So like I said, just some simple fruits, something that's going to digest very easily. As you're running, the digestive system is on it's going in slow motion. The blood is not going to your stomach as it usually would. The food is not going to be processed quite the same, quite so quickly. It's going to be going to your limbs, moving around the body to pump that blood, pump that oxygen to where it needs to go. So make sure you don't put too much pressure on your stomach too close to a run. So I'd always recommend as well, eating, if you're going to eat a meal before you go out running, try and make it at least 2 hours before you run. You might manage on less time than that, but you might lead into some discomfort if the run and the intensity of the run is quite high. Drinking as well, make sure you're not just gulping down massive litres of water before you go out there running. It is important that you're hydrated, so it will depend on the conditions where you are. If it's hot, if it's sunny, you will need to drink a little bit more than if it was cooler conditions out there. But make sure you're going to run hydrated, but in that last hour before you run, just make sure you're focusing more so on just sipping those drinks, not gulping down massive amounts. Next idea, next mistake I want to talk about, it seems like an obvious one. I'm sure most people quickly learn a lesson with this one or get into a good routine of it, is making sure, or not getting to the bathroom before you go out for a run. It can be one of the worst things you can do, being out on the run, suddenly need to go. I'm not just talking for a number one either here, guys. It can be quite disrupting to the run and maybe a bit risky depending on where you are, and you might not be able to find a toilet. So what I'd always try and make sure you can do is try and train your body, try and get into that routine as best as you can so that you are going to the toilet before you get out there on a run. There's nothing more annoying if you're out doing a session, doing a tempo session, and suddenly nature calls. It is natural, there's no point getting stressed about it if it does happen, but get into that rhythm, get into that routine, guys. You want to make sure you have some good quality training sessions without as little disruptions as possible. So make sure you get to that toilet, make it a part of your routine, and make sure you factor that time in. If you're going running in the morning and you're on a tight squeeze for time, make sure you factor in that time that you need for the toilet, just to make sure you can get the whole session in without rushing or being late for work or anything like that. Next mistake I want to talk about is not listening to your body. So I know a lot of runners, they'll have their training programs, they'll have their goals, they'll have these big, pipe dreams in mind of what they want to accomplish with their running and what they want to accomplish with their runs, their sessions. But you have to listen to your body. When you get up in the morning, you need to take a little second just to think about how are you feeling. Are you absorbing the training that you've done up to that point? Are you feeling fresh as you should do? Maybe you're feeling a little bit tired, and sometimes you need to think about this, guys. Are you just tired from the training load, and is it natural? Is it good for you to push through it at that time? And obviously sometimes, especially if you're trying to develop your running, that is very much part of the training process. You will be fatigued from time to time, and you've got to push through that. But you need to listen to your body. If you've got any aches, you've got any pains, or if you are just feeling completely exhausted, completely wiped out, then it can be a sign that the training is just a little bit too much right now, and you need to dial that back and give yourself that time, that rest, that recovery to really come back stronger and to really allow that training to absorb into your body, and your body to obviously grow stronger and to respond to it in the way that you want it to. Maybe you could also, you know, think about implementing some cross training in from time to time in these instances. So if you get up, you feel like a run isn't quite the best thing for you today, you can always go on a bike ride, you can add some swimming in there, you can do some aqua jogging in the pool, you know, or maybe you can just do something very light, very easy, do some light, easy yoga to get some good stretching in there, get some good mobility gains as well. So think about your training as a broad perspective, guys, in that region. Listen to your body, don't neglect it. It's a very smart tuned machine, and you should definitely be in tune with it to get the best out of yourself. I hope some of these points really helped you guys to get out the door, not make these mistakes, and to be able to run happy, to run true, and to get your best performances in the future ahead. So if you like this video, guys, please give it a like. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Always new videos, always new content on the way. Leave some comments down below if you've got any other mistakes that maybe you've made, or you know that other runners make all the time, and you see it out there on your runs. And let me know your thoughts, guys. So thanks for watching, and happy running.